The people of the noble quarter, clothed in quickly fastened night kimonos, stand in the streets, in gardens, and on balconies staring to the north. Fires are not uncommon in Rokugan, but something about this is different. It's closer, and it's bigger, and its pleasant smell of fragrant incense ironically portends its sinister nature. One column of smoke, the closer of the two, climbs into the sky from a not-too-distant part of the Bay of Drowned Honor. The noise of that fire is far off, and its soundtrack, instead, is the noises of astonishment and fear coming from the nobles around you. But whatever anxiety was held for a fire nearer to their homes, an anxiety that is all too understandable, there is a noise of greater foreboding that is let out from the crowd as their eyes follow to the north, beyond the city. Acres and acres of fields, the beautiful poppy fields that surround the city, are burning. It's still a few hours before sunrise, and yet off in the distance there is a misplaced twilight that erupts from these fiery fields. All right, so we see that off in the distance, like I said, to the north, those fields are on fire, and we just kind of like, the camera comes down as we see that light cast on people's faces as they're kind of staring up, and just these huge plumes of smoke are rising up into the sky.
A large city surrounded by green walls and acres of poppy fields. A group of monks travel toward the city, exchanging prayers for whatever alms the poor peasants of the countryside can spare. In the noble quarter, we see a beautiful but imposing palace and a foreign-looking minareted estate. In the temple quarter, we see the glistening white temple of the sun goddess with a 60-foot pole topped by a shimmering golden spear, and the temple of the fortune of wealth with its towering statue of the patriot god of the city. Next door, in the merchant quarter, we see busy streets with noisy merchants selling wares from all over Rokugan and beyond. On the other side of the Bay of Drowned Honor, the Fisherman's quarter, dirtier with poorer commoners, meaner gangs, and shabby dwellings amid the docks and warehouses. We pass the leatherworkers' quarter, the home of the Ada, the Untouchables, and the only building of notice there, the city crematorium. Finally, we arrive at Teardrop Island, the license quarter, with its perpetual twilight of hanging lanterns, fine sake and geisha houses. We follow a man in a basket hat as he's beckoned inside by a beautiful geisha. He enters and removes his hat. We see one of the monks from the beginning. Ryoko Owari, City of Lies.
All of you are awoken by this sight kind of like just before the crack of dawn. And I'm not going to make assumptions as to what you do, but I've got the assumption that you guys are going to want to go check these things out. One of the fires, and I can just, you can see where these are because huge plumes of smoke are coming. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of fires that by the time the sun has risen, a lot of the stuff has kind of either been put out or is just now smoldering out in the fields, but there's all of this smoke that I'm going to say, making it worse, there's a wind that's blowing down out of some of the mountains and hills from the north, and it's pushing that smoke onto the city. It smells like incense. It smells like fragrant floral incense. In a moment, you'll definitely have to make a love roll. But
harsh.
But the other fire was kind of down here in this zone.
What zone is that?
That is in the Bay of Drowned Honor. It was nearer to the Fisherman's Quarter, almost coming across the bridge of... I forget if... the Bridge of Drunken Lovers, I think is what that's called.
Probably Drunken Lovers.
Double check that one. But yeah. So that's where those... And you were able to see these huge plumes of smoke. Everybody is kind of out in the streets and trying to figure out what's going on. Movement is not an easy thing, like getting from point A to point B, because basically all of the servants and all of these other people who were doing things essentially stopped whatever they were doing, leaving carts and horses and that kind of stuff in the road as they're just gawking at all of this. Mm-hmm. And then all of these additional people who wouldn't be out on the streets at this hour came out onto the streets to see this, and then are just talking to each other and kind of speculating as to what's happening. And that goes not only for the noble quarter, but also for the merchant quarter as well. When Tayo, Aji, and Yugure arrive at the Bridge of Drunken Lovers, they can see that in the bay, it's now kind of docked at this dock right here, which I will tell you the name of in a moment, but is just a barge that has been absolutely destroyed by a fire. That's Fisherman's Dock. So at Fisherman's Dock is now docked the burnt skeleton husk of a big barge. And it's still kind of, there are parts of it that are still smoldering, but the fire's been put out, it seems. The fire eaters are all over the place. There's a lot of...
like incense?
Oh, yes. And there's a lot of looky-loos about through the Fisherman Quarter, and the fire eaters are making an effort to kind of keep those folks a little farther back. And again, their methods tend to be they're not setting up police tape. They're usually just yelling at people, and if anyone doesn't listen very quickly the first time, they'll usually get punched or something like that. So people have given them a wide berth of space to deal with this stuff, but there's still a lot of people watching. I'll say as you cross the Bridge of Drunken Lovers to go into the Fisherman's Quarter, there's people all over the bridge just watching this. And this is the kind of thing of like getting through crowds at a concert. Of like, there's so many people watching what's going on that it's tough for you to... It takes a while to get there. But you've arrived. The Fisherman's Dock is exactly what it sounds like. For the most part, every other boat here, except for this burnt-out boat, is a fishing ship, a fishing boat. There's probably guys nearby who are like, but I just brought in a big haul of this, and now it's sitting there? I gotta get it to market.
How big is the barge compared to like a regular ship?
Oh, it's big. You've seen lots of these barges before in this area. But it can hold like crates and crates and crates worth of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I would argue it's probably at least twice the length of a school bus. Mm-hmm. And it can hold a lot of stuff. So it's by far the largest boat at this dock. Mm-hmm. All of these other things are these small fishing vessels that either fish in the bay itself or go downstream or upstream,
leave the city
and come back.
Mm-hmm. I should probably figure out what spirit I have today.
That's good stuff.
So I got it.
Well, what cheerleading outfit are you wearing?
I got to roll to see.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
How about you?
I just pick whatever the spirit tells me to pick.
All right. You rolled an 8 plus blessed.
10 total, which means I choose the element, and it will perform either rank 2 or 3, but never the other. So I think I'm going to choose a kami of fire that will let me see the actions of people who are here recently.
All right, and then it is weaker because you chose the thing.
No, because you rolled a 10.
I chose the weaker.
Oh, you chose the weaker one.
Power for a fire kami, but I could have chosen the more powerful one.
But on a 10, you get to choose both of those things. We're on a 7 to 9. I choose one thing, you choose the other thing.
On the 7 to 9, he can decide to choose, and that way he chooses the lesser power. Or he can let you choose, and you will choose the greater power.
Yeah, on 7 to 9, you choose the element, and it gets the more powerful ability, or I choose the element for the weaker ability.
Mm-hmm. But on a 10, you choose both of the things.
10 to 11, I choose the element and the power, but only one. 12 plus, I pick the element, and it can do either of the powers.
Gotcha.
I'm kind of in a trance right now, while you guys are. There's like. And maybe probably no one can see it because there's so much fire, but like some of the fire is like flickering near me, and I'm just like I have my eyes closed.
So there's a lot of smoke that's kind of hanging around in the area, in part because there's smoke from the fields that blew into the city, but then there's still this like steaming, smoldering skeleton of a ship.
Speaking of beginning of session, man, can I do that reward for loyalty?
Sure, go ahead and make your move.
This is sagacious.
What did you get?
6.
A 6. Does it have specific miss
I think it's
things?
That I don't know.
pretty sure it does. I'm pretty sure it like harm.
Oh, yes. I wrote it down. You have made a mistake that comes to your lord's attention.
All right.
One face.
Okay.
You might want to double check.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have written that down.
Some shit. The last one should be somewhere. Yeah, there you go. Just the match.
On a miss, your investigation becomes public.
Nope.
On a miss, you have made a mistake that has come to your lord's attention.
That's all.
That is
That's not I should have read it.
Okay. So, all right. Again, very, very smoky, this area of the Fisherman's Quarter. This area is called the Crab Caves, is what this neighborhood's called. The docks are... yeah, sorry, this is the Fisherman's Dock, or the Fisherman's Wharf. And, like I said, the moment the fire eaters are there. But you see several other people that, to Tayo, very easily recognizable.
The presidents.
Yes. So,
wow, it's Abe Lincoln.
some of them are definitely recognizable as people that work for Bayushi Korchika.
Mm-hmm.
So that you don't even need a roll for. There's some of these guys like hanging around, and they look, almost all of them are like soaking wet, but also real dirty.
Mm-hmm.
And they are talking with the fire eaters as like nearby.
Mm-hmm. And we're, like you said, it's going to be impossible for us to get over there.
No, you guys can definitely get over there. It just took you a while.
Oh, gotcha.
So, for instance, on a regular day, as the crow flies, you would have been able to get there before this fire was out.
Mm-hmm.
Now this fire, for the most part, is out. The destruction has happened, and now you're dealing with the after effects.
Mm-hmm.
So because of those big crowds, it just delayed your ability to get over there significantly.
Mm-hmm. Possible to talk to those kids here?
Absolutely. I assume you mean the retainers?
But
Bayushi retainers, yeah. Absolutely. So, if are you wearing your badge?
Sure.
Okay. So when you kind of come up, there are Thunder Guard around, but for the most part, there are Thunder Guard around, but the firemen seem like they're the ones in charge of the situation here.
Mm-hmm.
And when they see that you're wearing this badge, they kind of, either all three of you or whatever, kind of gruffly let you guys kind of come closer. And one of the Bayushi samurai kind of straightens himself up. He's soaking wet. He very clearly was in that bay. Mm-hmm. He's also real covered in like dirt. Mm-hmm. He had to kind of climb up or crawl up through something that was gross or that was dirty. And he kind of straightens himself out a little bit and says, "Greetings."
Hello? So gruff.
Was this, I guess, Korchika's boat then?
You asked that to him?
Sure.
Ooh, this guy will be
Great.
like, no. This was,
Dude, he's just like hiding his...
yeah, I'll say he's not, you recognize his face. Like, you recognize what this dude looks like. A weird thing. He's not wearing a mask, but you can recognize several of these guys. There's enough of them there where you can recognize them.
Oh, okay, so they're kind of incognito.
Right.
They had to come back on a barge that wasn't owned by him, remember?
Yeah, they're not even wearing masks. They're just wearing, like, brown kimonos.
Yeah.
That are now dirtier. Now they're extra brown, baby. No, but the
Maybe I wouldn't say that.
yeah, so you can recognize the individual dudes.
Yeah, so maybe instead I'll say, what happened?
Okay,
That's a good one.
so
Yeah.
so this guy kind of looks around and he says, "Somebody attacked our barge, and set it on fire."
Who?
He says, It had to be magic.
Why do you say that?
We didn't see anybody. And the flames just erupted all of a sudden.
Does that sound possible?
I think I'm just like mumbling. I think
He's
I
stuck
don't
in
know.
his fire elemental thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. So in Ugrae's vision,
There you go. Good. Have to
you
put
see
that
the
down.
same ship that's burnt coming south in the Bay of Drowned Honor, getting near to here, to the Bridge of Drunken Lovers. And the dramatic thing that you see is that all of these guys are jumping into the water. And the reason they're jumping into the water is because they're on fire. And the fire just seemingly bursts from out of nowhere. You see a man kind of step up on like the prow of the ship and he starts praying. And then we're back in the scene with Tayo, and the guy's like, yeah, I'm pretty positive that this was something magical. This came out of nowhere. And then we're back in the vision that you're having, Yugure, and you see this man in kind of brown robes praying, and you can tell that whatever is going on, he's trying to stop and failing, and then more of the fire explodes, and this man is lit ablaze, and he falls off of the ship. And so this guy's like back in the scene with Tayo and Aji talking to this samurai. He just says, I'm not a priest, but I'm pretty sure of it.
The will of the gods does not always align with those of men.
Oh my god. Are you just saying that, like, some fire company is like, nah. Fuck this boat.
I assume he seems like he's telling the truth.
Go ahead and read him. Alrighty. That's a 10 naturally, right?
Then a
That's
12.
a 9 naturally. Sorry. So 11.
So excited.
Man.
That would have been good. Alright, so 11.
Is he telling the truth?
Yeah, this guy's telling you the truth. He, you see somebody, one of the firemen at least, kind of fish up. He's got a big...
Is he a fireman or a fisherman?
I know. Oh, he's gotten from probably a fishing boat, what's called a gaff hook, like a big just hook. It looks like a giant fire poker, and he...
What, you stab kids making out, teenagers, right?
What?
Never heard that?
Never.
Oh, man.
Oh my god. He has one of these gaff hooks, and one of the firemen just pulls in a corpse. And if Yugure can take his mind off of the vision for a second, he sees that that's the corpse that he's pulling in.
The priest?
Yeah.
Like the guy praying?
Damn, fucked up fire company.
And we're back in the scene. This guy probably like this samurai that you're speaking with probably sits down. There's like a crate of something, and he just kind of sits down. And he looks down. He lost a shoe, and he kind of has one of these like, Mondays. No, he goes, ugh, and he's looking down at his foot. He probably has maybe a gash on his arm or something like that.
Yeah, so maybe out loud I'll say, well, did your patron have this insured? But really, what I'm asking is, what does your character intend to do?
I think out loud, like in response to that, because this guy knows who you are. In response to that, this dude will say, I'm just supposed to protect this boat if anybody tries to hop on. I don't know how to deal with this stuff, so...
Watch for hop-ons.
Yeah, watch for hop-ons. So, with this happening, it doesn't look good for me. And he's got to go ahead and give this... He or somebody has to go ahead and give this bad news to Korochika, who is not going to be happy about this situation. And this guy literally is like does not know what to do moving forward. This guy's like, I do not know what to do.
You'll lean in closer and say, like, well, hopefully your patron still has crops for the winter. Hungry.
I'll say, well, hopefully.
I say with a reflection on the end, like, is that true, or is this everything? That's not a real question from this, but that's what I'm trying to get at.
Oh. I think this guy will basically say either he or his merchant would know that.
What are you going to do about this, Tayo? Does this event warrant further investigating?
Yeah. There's some kind of Sugenja or demon that's lighting merchants' wares on fire. It's important. It might have something to do with the greater fire up north.
So we join Yugure back in his vision.
Oh.
That's still kind of swirling around, and the last thing that you can see is crates. Some crates have been just absolutely immolated in these fires. But several of the crates you see, a third to even half of them, actually start to shake and lift off of the ship and kind of fly into the city. As if they're first just kind of like vibrating, and then they're just thrown.
Force push.
Damn, son.
So, like before the fire, or like while the fire's raging or something?
Yeah, like while the ship's on fire, a lot of the stuff is burned up, but a third to half of these crates, you see just kind of start shaking and then look like they're suddenly thrown off of the boat that way, kind of northwesterly.
All at once or like fun popcorn?
Kind of fun popcorn, but in very quick succession.
Wow.
It fully works real good this episode, guys.
So I'll say to the other guys, perhaps we should carry on our investigation elsewhere and kind of indicate for them to follow me.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Lead the way.
And see if I can kind of follow that trail.
Where's the direction?
Thinking of using the wisdom of the Kami move to try to follow that trail. One of the questions is, what path should I take?
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, good.
You can do that, sure. I think you got a lot of information out of that last one, so
Well, I want to try to find where these things went.
sure.
They went off into the city.
Were they just like eat scene when we go over there?
Definitely not.
Alright.
I
Yeah.
don't think I said anything yet, just for
Yeah.
the purposes of being cryptic.
Yeah. Good. Hey.
Pretty good roll.
12.
All right.
So, what path should I take? This is the Kami are guiding it, so what I think I want might be different from what they want for me.
Oh, for sure. Here's the thing. You're already where you need to be.
Okay.
Yeah. It literally just spins you around.
What?
And you're like, oh, I'm here.
What's the will of the gods in this situation, then?
The will of the gods is that you make sure that... the will of the gods in this situation is they want to make sure that there's less bloodshed. They foresee great bloodshed coming and want to make sure it's reduced. Yeah, they're concerned about future violence and don't want to see that.
Well, what is the greatest danger threatening me or my allies? I think every few seconds, or you guys like, follow me, let's investigate somewhere else, and then I literally start walking in circles.
4 lefts.
Or like 3 steps, and then turn left, and then 2 steps, turn left.
It's worse than a goose chase, Andrew.
Distrust and secrets.
It's the city of secrets.
I know. That's what the lady says at the beginning of every episode. So, you kind of like spins you around when you're thinking like, which path should I follow? Which path should I follow? And you just end up looking back at the noble quarter.
Well, then I'm going to stop, be like, and then tell them everything. Be like, some crates from the barge flew off into the city, kind of indicate, the direction that happened in my vision. But the spirits will not guide me to them. There's too much bloodshed on the horizon that must be avoided. Secrets and deception are our greatest threats. And I'll turn back to like the noble quarter and be like, I'll look like straight to Tayo, because we kind of had this conversation, like the root of all our problems is that way.
It's not the Kami saying, don't investigate the crates. If you do, there'll be more bloodshed.
The crates are a violent distraction.
And there's no sign of these crates here, right?
No.
Though it is worth knowing that perhaps we could use that information in our own investigations.
And you told the whole thing about the levitating and all that? The popcorn?
I'm not trying to keep it a secret, but I'm not trying to bring more attention to it either.
What?
So I think I said like the crates flew that way or something, and without saying anything else. So if you want to ask Ukraine to be more specific, like, what do you mean they flew that way?
Sure, I'll say that.
Then okay, it appears the barge worker may have been correct that there were spirits at work here.
Suryoku.
Suryoku was a Shugenjari. I'll bring that up. She or her people working for her
Crazy and powerful.
somehow relate to that. I don't know the extent of her power, but
Scary.
yeah, she looks at least physically intimidating.
Yeah.
Where does she live? Do we know?
You assume in the noble quarter, though nobody's gone like knocking on her door. We've only
Okay,
seen her
so
on
she-
camera like 2 or 3 times, and it's
Yeah.
been in those meetings with.
I thought she
So Tayo's the only one who's
left
met her.
town or something. I thought that's kind of what happened. That
Yeah.
all of her business got taken up, and then all of her employees I know left town. But I thought she kind of bounced with them.
Korachika made a reference to you that said that she's nowhere to be found.
Do you want to go into Noble Quarter and look for the crates?
I do not believe the crates are in the Noble Quarter, but I do think the root of our problems is.
All right. What's the plan? What's the next step?
Well, for you got to make a love roll. Aji has to
The
make a love
crates are
roll.
that way, you're saying?
That's what I want to know.
You should, we should have had you do this right away. All right,
I got a 9
a 9.
plus 3.
Oh, that's a bad one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. When you interact with the object of your desire or are in a situation where your beloved may be affected by your actions, roll plus love. On a 10 plus, choose 1.
And the object of your love learns of your devotion? Let's sacrifice the health or position of an ally or family member in order to aid the object of your love.
So how's that going to look in this situation? So, because the whole deal is like you can smell, like you know the smell of opium. There was definitely opium on this barge. You know that those poppy fields, which are what they use to make opium, were burned. Like this smell is pretty potent around here. Like you're not stoned because of it, but you can definitely tell it's there. And
Do I know it's dangerous to go into the Noble Quarter looking for the crates? Isn't that what the vision? No?
I think the vision was telling us to go.
Was the vision telling us to go?
so how could this make... I'm trying to figure out how you could sacrifice the health or position of an ally or family member in order to aid the object of your love.
It'd be like, hey, let's do this bad idea, and someone gets hurt.
Do you have a bad idea?
Yeah, let's go do the opposite of what the commie want.
Ooh, that's a good idea. You got to fight for it.
I'll just put this one under my hat for now.
Yeah.
All right.
You could think of something.
Is it like search for the crates here? Yeah, because the comic said to go to the Noble Quarter, right?
I mean, you guys don't have to trust the commie the way you grade us, but that is what the commie wanted, it seemed, is to don't go mess with the crates. Go unseat the corruption of the city
Yeah.
and avoid violence, or prevent the violence that's coming, or take the path that will lead to less violence.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Robert Frost poem.
That's a good one.
The path less taken is the less violent one.
It's pretty true usually.
The violent pathless. Yeah, I don't know. Is that the end of that scene? Or like,
If you guys have more questions or other things to ask or look for, it's up to you. These guys I'll say that at this point you kind of can stand around and talk for a little bit, and these firemen put out the last smoldering bits of this barge. Everything on it of any value is destroyed.
can I just look for these crates or signs that they were moved or that they flew through the air?
What's what I was doing for?
Yeah.
Is there an air trail?
Is there an air trail?
Chemtrails.
Can I smell it in the air? Follow like a dog?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like cartoon.
Like a cartoon
That's what I
dog.
was going for, not just
Yeah, that sounds like Rita's situation.
Sure.
Based on his description. So that'll be kind of tough, but go for it. 8?
Yeah.
All right, got an 8, so you get one of those questions.
How about what's the enemy's true position?
The enemy's true position.
Unless, what's the best way into the crate? It's
That's up to you.
like
What
a
do you-
mine.
What do you want?
Let's way into this crate. I don't know where it is.
Open the lid.
Yeah. There's your answer, bro.
I mean, I think the enemy's true position.
Okay. Looking around at this stuff, you know that whoever did this had to be either a very powerful Shigenja, especially based on if Yugure gave you the whole story about all of this stuff lighting on fire, these crates flying off of here, another priest attempting to stop that and failing. You know that whoever did this had to be a powerful Shigenja, or there had to be like a group of Shigenja doing this. And so you are going to have to find you're going to have to find somebody who wants this opium and is a powerful Shigenja or group of Shigenja. So you can use that to weed out certain things for sure. Where it's like, okay, someone who would be a Shigenja and a powerful Shigenja at that would probably have to have some kind of formal training. Would probably not likely be just like, I'm a random bandit kind of a thing. So the idea that bandits came here and stole all this opium is not. You're like you're kind of looking at your list of enemies and bandits. Firemen, that kind of stuff.
And there's like just 2, also Igre, so 3 Shugenja.
There's a good number. There's not a ton, but there's a good number of Shugenja.
Oh, here's a question. So fire and theoretically air. Is there do scorpions is that their elements? I know fire is one.
Traditionally.
Wait, is air the sneaky one?
Traditionally. Air is used. Air spells are involved sneakiness and that kind of stuff, as well as like social and subtle effects. And yes, absolutely, the scorpion usually focus on air magic.
What do I see when I ride out of town?
You ride out of town and kind of try to get close, and the first thing that you notice is there's a lot of Thunder Guard, and they like out in these fields and kind of surrounding these fields.
Okay.
And they, as you kind of like, do you try to go to these fields, or are you just like observing them from afar?
I don't know if I would go to the field that looks the most burned out.
Okay. So as you head to these things, I think some Thunder Guard essentially stop you.
Yeah.
And they're like, hello there.
I came as soon as I saw the fire. I'm Hideishi. My name is Hideishi. I'm one of the magistrates. Is Yogo Sakura out here, or perhaps what's the brother's name? Jocho.
I think he'll say.
Usually drop it.
Yeah, I think he'll say.
That's the plan.
If you need to speak with Osako-san, she's likely at the Civil Hall.
No, actually, I came out here. I didn't know if she or her brother were on the scene. If they're not, then I need to be on the scene.
So we've got it under control. Neither our commander nor the magistrate are available to talk to you right now. Also, they're not related, but that's a different matter.
I don't remember, man.
Jocho does have a sister. It's just a different person.
Yeah, Jojo's in the group with like the governor, right?
He's her son.
Yeah, okay. That's that group, and then Yogo Sako's like just kind of clanman, not like actually related. Okay.
I think she's the only one of her
some
family.
Yeah.
That we've met. Yes.
Yeah, I can't. I never did.
With Indy.
Anyway. Well, I mean, I need to look around, and that's just how that has to be. There's been an incredibly large fire out here, and I'm look at that field over there, because I tried to go to the field that was like looked the most dead, as if that's where the fire started. Is really where I was trying to look.
I think when you head into these, like, go to kind of get to this, you're like met by people.
Okay, well,
and there's you can kind of see off in the distance. There's a lot of Thunder Guard out here, and the guy just says like this was a big fire. We don't want you to get hurt. We'll report everything to our commander. Yogo Osako can give you that information, I'm sure. It's just a fire. We got it.
That's not just look around you. It's not just a fire. The entire countryside's burning. I need to get out there and look and see what's happened. I will be fine. I can take care of myself, sir.
And he says,
What's your name?
We keep trying.
Disappointment son, because Austin has to come up with a name for this guy.
Damn you, Disappointment son.
The first name, Agatsu.
Oh, Jesus. Agatsu?
I wouldn't write it down.
I'm writing down. I'm going to get this boy fired.
And he's just like,
anyway.
Yeah, we can give you whatever information they can get you whatever information you need. We've got this. This is, don't trouble yourself. Don't trouble yourself with this. It's smoldering. They've put it down.
I'm not here to fire. What is this man's problem? It's smaller, but alright. Cool. Not what I'm here for, but cool nonetheless. Nonetheless. That's
9
a 9.
plus...
I'm reading the situation, so it's an 11.
11.
Yeah, that's at least
Pretty
above.
good.
I thought you were going to threaten violence.
I might have to, son of a bitch. I don't know what this man's problem is.
Why bother threatening it? Just bonk him out.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to go over great. That's what we threaten. We don't just attack. Yeah. Anyway, what's the best way past this?
As you're talking to him, you realize a few things. One, they look like they've been in a fight. These guys.
That's pretty weird.
They are covered in like soot and that kind of thing from like a big fire, but they also look like maybe they've been in a fight. But you could tell that they are not supposed to let anybody in here. So, aside from forcing your way past these guys,
so there's like no way
they're going to need orders from some kind of superior.
There's no way
to let folks this way
at all.
I mean, what they would need is orders from some kind of superior.
All right.
How many are there? How many are there?
I'll say at the moment there's just 2 dudes on ponies.
Oh, you can take them.
Okay. In the fields, though.
In the fields, there are lots.
They're many. I'm sure they'll be fine with seeing a very large crab just cut 2 of their friends down and then just continue on to the fields. I'm sure they'll
Just
be
take one of their hats.
they'll be great. It's just me, your scorpion friend. Mm-hmm. Not
Scorpo.
a giant crab man. Let me see. What was his name?
What's your name?
Sting. That's why I asked his name, because I'm going to impersonate him.
What's your name? Sting. Well, originally it was Gordon, but but yeah, you can tell that they've been given orders like not to let anyone like through here. So,
well, I'm the only one who came in here to have my time wasted by this boy.
Every Thunder Guard. The worst.
Just
you guys regularly get information from them.
Every time you've been like, oh, there's a thunder guard there, I'm like, oh, this is going to turn into a shit show.
I think they have standing orders. Just do not cooperate with the magistrates.
You can just fuck
whatever's
those guys.
going on. Just
fuck them.
don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, maybe that one time we didn't tell them we were magistrates, so we got that weird fight about it, but whatever. Anyway, what should I be on the lookout for?
Yeah, there's a ton of these. There's a ton of these Thunder Guard out here.
Did you say way more than were needed to put out a fire?
This was a big fire.
Okay, that was just me reaching out.
But there's now, seemingly, now that the fire is out, it seems like they're just kind of extra, like, around in this area looking for things. And,
they're looking for things?
Yeah, they seem to be guarding the area and, like, searching the area for something.
They're searching for something.
Mm-hmm.
Thunder Guard.
Oh, and these guys seem jumpy. They seem on edge and they seem scared. Yeah, these dudes are jumpy. They're on edge. They're scared.
What enemy is the biggest threat? Which enemy is the biggest threat?
Enemy is the biggest threat.
6-2.
Yeah. Something happened here that these guys seem freaked out about. And there's a lot of behavior going on that doesn't 100% make sense. Something happened that they possibly can't explain. And the biggest threat, the biggest threat is whoever burned these fields.
Whoever burned these fields is my biggest threat. Okay.
And again, these guys seem real spooked. So that definitely tells you that was not a natural fire.
Okay. Are you all right? You look
Need a hug.
injured almost.
And he says, "Oh, well, we're fine. It was just a."
Did you have to? Were there bandits here? Is that who burned this place down? Did you have to fight them off?
And he's like, "No, there were just some accidents because of the fire. Everything's fine now."
Go down the stairs.
Mm-hmm. I want to read this person.
Sure.
Having as much information as these Thunder Guard. I have to drag it out of them. It's a 10 again.
Yeah.
how could I get him to tell the truth? What I had to do to the Thunder Guard to get them to
He's going to have to get an order to tell you that.
The one thing that's just about impossible.
Mm-hmm. So shy of violence.
Shy of violence.
Shy of violence, he's going to have to get an order from, I'll say, from Jocho. Like, not even like, Sergeant so-and-so will have to tell me.
Like
Jocho tells him to do this, then he'll do it. Otherwise, he's not.
Damn, son.
He's not really gonna get into it with you.
It's going pretty high up. He's obviously not telling the truth. He's feeling pretty shaken. I don't know if I really want to. I guess what does he intend to do? Like, why is he still out here?
He's supposed to make sure that nobody else shows up, or to see if there's any further things that are out of the ordinary. He doesn't 100% know what he's looking for.
Okay, he doesn't know what he's looking for. All right, so they still know.
You were the nail that stuck up the farthest.
Yeah.
They came and talked to you. So why are you here? What are you doing? Because again, these guys don't seem to know what's up, and they seem like they're on edge.
Can't get past them. They won't tell me. I don't even know if it's worth asking them, and you could probably ask them what they wish I do, but I know what they would say. Leave. So I'm not even gonna bother with these people. So
Okay.
Head out, I guess. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this place and probably go meet up with these fine gentlemen at the other scene.
So you're going to Soshi Seryoku's house. You head back into the noble quarter, and one of the few Thunder Guard that you see can help direct you there. They all seem pretty busy.
And I'll say I just remembered that Ample is a person that exists, but I think I left him at the my family.
Oh, right.
Yeah, probably when he's not.
Yeah.
When I don't mention him, that's his standing orders.
Sure. Yeah.
That makes it easy.
Okay. He'll stay there and eat.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're able to...
Good noodles.
Yeah.
These noodles are good.
Soshi Seryoku's house is in... Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. It's in the noble section, for sure.
It's in Ryoko.
Yeah, in Ryoko Owari.
Wow, I never would have guessed it, Peter Person.
In the old section is like the northern part. The magistrate residence is in the new section. The old section is the northern part, where, not surprisingly, the Shosuro Palace is, as well as the Shosuro Gardens, and most of the... Not most, but the largest plurality of the samurai that you encounter are Scorpion Clan samurai in the old neighborhood. And eventually you get to Seryoku's house, and Seryoku's house is a very nice estate. It's very, very big. And when you go to the door, there's simply nobody that comes to the door. Normally, a servant wouldn't even, you wouldn't get to the front door to knock, especially at a house this nice. There'd be a servant who would meet you as you approach the door and kind of bring you in and talk to you. So normally there would be a servant who would come to the door and kind of, before you even got to the door, they would meet you outside and speak to you. When you went to the Bayushi estate, you encountered that. That guy came out and spoke with you. Other people that you've gone to, that's been the same deal. Nobody shows up. You guys can walk straight up to the door itself.
Are we allowed as magistrates to just go in?
We're pretty much the law of the land out here, boys and girls. Just jury and executioner. That's us.
Do you consent?
I
Have a talk.
I don't 100%. I'd say probably no.
Wait, do you hear that? It's somebody crying for help in there. It's probably us.
Fire familiar show me anything from the recent past around here?
This house is empty.
Say no one's been here for...
No one's been here for several days.
Yeah.
There's nobody. There's not a cook. There's not a maid.
Damn.
There's not a gardener. I'll say, if you look around, you kind of get that feeling of just stillness. It's just cold. You look to the fire kami to tell you, to show you this scene, and it's just this cold scene that's just nothing.
Yeah.
essentially, and can feel like, oh, nobody's been here for several days.
This place has almost forgotten it as a home.
Well,
It's a pretty cool line. That was good.
well, let's make it a home again. Let's go in.
All right. On this episode,
Did we find a new house?
a flip or flop, our magistrates come to a beautiful 2-story feudal Japanese estate in the City of Lies.
Dibs.
It's been abandoned.
It's been abandoned.
They claim dibs.
Anyway, but yeah, so this place is big. This place looks like it was very nice, but though like kind of somewhat traditional looking, like in its architecture. But yeah, nobody's home.
Should we go in?
Is it possible if she abandoned her own estate that her services are being off or used by someone else?
What, take her whole staff?
I don't know what that meant. I'm sorry.
Well, so she's a Shugenja. She's not here, right? This is her place.
This is her like personal residence. Yeah.
So she could just be gone, like she left. But I'm asking Tayo if it seems reasonable that maybe she's working for someone else. So she's maybe staying with them, maybe secretly or something like that.
I heard she left too, which makes sense. But I feel like it's not the best of things, but we might want to go in.
Yeah.
This could be a matter of safety, especially Genja, chaos in the city.
Did we figure out if that's
Time, boys and girls.
within our jurisdiction to do something like
I
that?
feel like Tayo's argued for many sessions that this kind of thing's not.
If it's upholding the Emperor's laws, then yes, in their jurisdiction, let's go in.
What do you have to say about that, Tayo?
Yeah, I looked at the first one. If it's going to see him for.
As long as we are doing it to uphold the laws of the Emperor, then it's A-okay.
Yeah, actually I'm fine with that.
Because we need answers.
This isn't anybody's house. The kami just told me so.
That is
No
true.
one lives here.
No one lives here at the moment.
Can you break and enter into something that was never anybody's in the first place?
Yeah, we're not trespassing if no one lives here, so.
Right.
So who's the first one through the door?
Ooh.
Does it open?
Are you trying to open the door?
Yeah. I'll
Well, that
open
answered this first question. All right.
Well, the most hesitant is the first
So-
one.
Well, I was probably like arguing the most and then realized, you know what, it's fine, and went in.
All right. So you
Take off your shoes.
there's not a lock per se on most doors in Rokugan. There might be locks that you can have from the inside, but they're like latches and that kind of thing. So there's not like I'm off to work, darling, and I lock the door as I'm on the way out. It's instead like, let me in, dear, and then she would let me in, and I would come in, and I would maybe lock a door behind me, kind of a thing. And if you have servants, they're doing most of that stuff anyway. The front door is not.
People don't like these ninja.
The front door is not at all locked.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Yugure goes inside.
I follow.
All right. Again, this place is very nice. It is kind of set up in the traditional setup for a Rokugani house. There's like a meeting room or sitting room that you've got, and the architecture of the interior is also very, very traditional, but it's pretty Spartan. It's not too unfamiliar to you, Yugure, given that that's what you've said is your jam, kind of a very sparsely decorated place.
So it looks normal.
So,
Normal house for normal people. Says you, Gray.
yeah, you kind of go through that. There is a garden that's there, and it's one of those. It's just it's like a rock garden kind of a thing, and it does have footprints that have walked through it, disrupting the way that the sand had been raked. There's what would normally be a shrine to ancestors, and in that room with that shrine are things like almost offered up as like an offering is like a scourge, like a whip kind of deal. There's maybe some like dead fruit that has very clearly been there for a long time. There's flies buzzing around it. And
Ancestors.
Yeah, there's some little. There's like an urn on the. Like at the shrine, so rather than a statue, there's like an urn.
Is that normal to have an urn in the house?
You might have ancestors' ashes placed somewhere within your house. It would be weird for them to be like the center of a shrine. You might have like a little temple that had been a tomb of somebody where their ashes would be interred, but usually then the centerpiece would be a statue built around that or something. This is just an urn.
They're really against like dead body stuff, right?
Yeah, in Rokugan, people don't like. So far as like even stuff with leather is only in the absolute, only where no other material can work, begrudgingly utilized.
There's the bikers.
Well, they're mice from Mars, so it's not an issue for them.
Okay.
It's a different culture.
Okay.
Good.
They're bad mamma jammas.
Biker mice from Mars Clan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the major ones. I expect you to know remember this.
Well, they regularly deal with the cowboys from Moo Mesa clan.
Is the scourge significant in some way?
It's a weird item. I would say culturally, this isn't a thing that you might have like an ancestor's sword or like a family member's sword in a shrine because like that's so important to the culture, especially like their wakizashi, whereas the katana might get passed on. You guys aren't from the most martial of the clans, but like the lion or the crab might go buck wild about some various other weapons. There might be armor up in some way or another, but a scourge, which is an implement almost of torture, is a thing that shouldn't even be in a samurai house. It's like, why do you have this?
Yeah, it's like
Perv?
Edda kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like anyone who used this.
Does it look like bloody and stuff? Or used, I guess?
It seems like you're reading a situation, but I'll tell you, yeah, it does.
It's not a fresh one.
Here's a question. Is there... So who's that baddie? The moon god?
Lord Anatangu.
Lord Anatangu. Does he use scourges or anything like that?
No. I'll say that's not something associated with him.
The big moons on the scourge or anything?
No, there's no moons on there that are like my moon whip.
But one of the tassels of the scourge does have a lady's face with a tongue and
just right up on
stuff
the
like that.
What?
The demon.
Oh, right. That makes more sense.
You should pray at the shrine, you right?
Oh, that seems fucked up and wrong.
That's
Okay.
a great idea. I got some fruit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you Grace. I mean, I don't
Like
know.
praying for
You
the
want to
common?
pray at this desecrated...
I don't know. Yeah,
shrine?
right. I don't know what the Rokugan connotations of everything might be, but I almost want to say Yugray doesn't view it as a shrine anymore. Like this whole place is abandoned. None of it is anything anymore, unless that doesn't like line up with Rokugani stuff. Would like an abandoned shrine like need attention and restoration, or is it just done? Is there no real answer to that?
Well, in each of your various like suites, you probably have some kind of shrine.
Right.
That's a catch-all place to pray to ancestors or the kami or the various fortunes. You probably have that thing in your house.
Right.
Just a small little thing in the corner, or often like one little nook. In a bigger estate like this, that's not carved up into the suites like yours, there probably would be a room for that, which that's what this is.
Yeah.
And normally servants would have to make sure that like the old offerings were removed and that kind of stuff. And then when you would come and pray, you would bring new offerings and you would light incense and that kind of things. And the servants would take they would make sure it stayed clean. In this big giant city, especially for folks who have like tiny commoner homes, they could just go to, there's a whole quarter full of temples and shrines and that kind of stuff. And the odds are if your family has lived in this area for a long time, there are cemeteries as well, like outside the city where their ashes are probably interred and they could go there specifically. So it's not insane to have an urn here, but that's not the way that would normally be set up. And like I said, no one has been in this house for days.
Yeah. So, is this like a reading a situation?
That's what I think you were doing before, for sure.
I forgot that you said that.
You're good. Well, yeah, because I think like that whip looks like, oh, it's definitely somebody's been whipped with that thing for sure. There's gunk on it.
Ew.
6 plus
2.
8. Alrighty.
And this is a success, my dog.
True. Guess what should I be on the lookout for?
This is a place of great evil. And the person who lived here is incredibly powerful. More so than you could fathom. And I think the way that you get that is like you... I think dramatically we got to have a what's in the box situation, and you have to look in that urn. There's something about it that or maybe you bump it or something like that, and the thing that just pours out of it is it's just a whole bunch of severed human fingers, and a bunch of them are like very old, and they're just bones, and they almost roll out like dice all over this shrine. And you have almost like a vertigo kind of like feeling as you're like, holy crap. Can all of you make bold rolls for me? Or defy danger rolls for me?
That should do it.
6.
No.
A bold roll?
Mm-hmm.
13.
13, not bad.
Is this,
The first 13 of the game.
Can I read a situation?
Yeah, I guess technically it relates to that.
7 then.
All right.
Wow.
So,
Just barely.
okay. I'm going to hop to you guys individually for this stuff. All right. Everything around you, as you turn, you hear this like smash and like this kind of clatter. Yugure does. Here's this clatter, and everything goes black. I'll say you don't see at all what he just saw. You were looking at something else, and just everything is black for a second, as if every light in the room went out, but somehow you can see yourself. If you look down at your hands and you look down at your clothing, you can see you, but you cannot see anything else.
Just get out.
It might be. I did not see that one.
Oh.
That's good. That's it.
I saw it. I don't know what you're talking about.
He got hypnotized. He goes in that.
I don't know.
World.
So, you hear a voice that just says, in this low growling, like a low hissing whisper, and it's a familiar voice to you. You hear, "Looks like you've gotten yourself lost again. This time not on one of your trips around the city, but this time diving into something you can't possibly imagine." It does sound familiar.
Well, Yugure has a suspicion.
You seem a couple.
It was the horse demon.
A term that I understand why you use, but it
wasn't
makes it seem like it's a centaur.
It wasn't actually a horse demon, but there was a dead horse and there was a demon.
Inside a dead horse's body, what are we gonna do?
He saw a dead horse.
There was a dead horse there, and there was a demon thing there. It said it was a kami, so maybe it wasn't even a demon.
We didn't have enough to go on to name these things.
The other horse demon, the godfather.
Lady face demon,
Yeah.
horse demon.
I have found where the spirits led me, and
You're lost. Don't lie to me.
my friends and I will
Don't lie to
find
yourself,
the evil that has brewed
Yugure.
itself here.
There's so much more that you can know. There's so much more danger that you can stumble into, that you're about to stumble into. And more importantly, what your friends are about to stumble into. So I offer you this. Simple exchange. I know you're a man who doesn't need all that much, so I'll give you answers. This is my last offering. Either you provide me with these, either you provide me with what I want, or I'll have to go and give my help to someone else. Someone who don't want to have my help. So solve all the problems that you and your friends run into again and again. Lift those roadblocks. Push past all those obstacles. Surely you can see the value of that. A man who seeks the knowledge of the kami turns a blind eye to one of the greatest sources of wisdom he could possibly find. All you have to do is give me what I want. It's that simple.
Is there a way I can
Phone a friend?
figure out who or what this is?
So,
Ring, ring, ring.
you know that this is a spirit.
Some kind.
Yeah, I think that you, since this is the result of a failure of another roll, I think you just making another roll right away might be like a little
Well, too cheap.
Not quite that, but certainly remove some of the drama of it.
Right.
But you know that this is a spirit, and it is not a spirit like any of the elemental kami that you've encountered. And you have definitely encountered this particular spirit before, and you remember back to that scene when you encountered this near that dead horse.
Right.
It has zero horse-like quality.
So one of the questions of read that like a person is, what are your intentions, or what do you intend to do? Mm-hmm. I am obviously not acting upon that role, but that's the exact question I want to ask it. It's just, like, what do you intend to do? What are your purposes here?
So, you just hear the conversation you just had, like, repeated back to you. You see yourself off in the distance again, standing there, and the voice farther away as it just says, like, I can help you find the answers that you want. I can give you all this information. Just give me what I want.
If you can't, and it wanted my blood, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You offer me no reason to trust you. You offer secrets and power, but I am here for, I don't know, I want to make it sound profound, for like answers and...
You're at a shrine, child. You're at a shrine where men pray to powers greater than they can imagine. They seek fortune, they seek contentment, they seek happiness. You seek knowledge. You can have that knowledge. I can give it to someone else. Someone who don't, and its voice is getting much quieter. I want to have that.
Yeah, I'm not doing it, so...
Alright, that voice just kind of shrinks and passes and just gets quieter and quieter and quieter.
At least if you, like, put that demon onto your person, maybe it'd be cool with summoning my demon.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the right moment and keep on passing up these moments, Andrew.
Tayo, go ahead and make a love roll.
Oh, shit, son.
This is my 7 and 9, right? This is my 7 and 9.
Yeah.
Alright. Making sure.
Nobody wins here.
I think I have 0.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah.
7. Alright. But you choose the thing with a 7. Well, either one you choose it, yeah. Can I make a suggestion?
Yep.
So the reason that you do this is you open this thing up, and there are very clearly like women's fingers among this, and like even some that are very small that are like children's fingers. And you absolutely think about your family and knowing that like there is this great evil here, and that's when that vertigo moment hits you when we do that Hitchcock zoom thing. And my thing would be you just run back to them to make sure they're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Abandoning my allies are current.
But yeah, we're like,
Yep.
Sure. Okay. That's my thought.
You love kids?
They're little scamps.
Sure.
So Aji, you, in looking through all this stuff, do you think you knocked it over accidentally, or do you think you had to look in it?
You definitely had to look in it.
That's more of a
I feel
curiosity.
like I wouldn't want to look in there. Mm-hmm. I'm fine if it maybe like compelled me or something.
If you want.
To Tayo, it looks like it
Okay.
was accidental, but say anyone else looking, it's just like, oh, just open it up.
Doesn't look like anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, maybe that's the case to you. You think you accidentally opened it. You were totally aware of what's going on. Tayo, at some point in like looking through this stuff and looking behind this shrine, and maybe like you guys kind of investigating this place because it's weird for sure. Why is this urn here? He, at some point, just stared at it and opened it, and just froze for a second. And then knocked this thing over and ran out the door. And what's inside is just, like I said, just dozens of human fingers. And meanwhile, Yugure is just zonked out.
Again.
Yeah.
What a guy.
God.
And he's the opium addict.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, so I think that's... You see this stuff.
Alright. Going to take out my sword and destroy the shrine.
City of Lies is Tone as Kakita Aji, Brandon as Hida Ishii, David as Bayushi Tayo, Andrew as Agasha Yugure, and Austin as your game master. The theme music for City of Lies is Mission of Danger by Lobo Loco. Additional music for this episode includes Tend to It by Osiris Saline. This episode's intro done by Scott. This American Dice Ryoko Owari City of Lies uses the City of Lies box set by Greg Stolz, published by Alderac Entertainment Group. The mechanics used is a modified PBTA system by Brendan Taylor of Galileo Games. Join us next time for more This American Dice.
So in the same way that when you went to...
Boy?
Yeah, he always looks out the window for people coming up.
You there, boy! What day is it?
The opposite.
Oh.
Why, it's the day of the frog.
It's
Tuesday.
Oh, a hopping good time. Come on over to my pad. See if I taste like chicken. Because you're going to fuck the frog man. So...
What?
It's that frog.
Yeah. Oh, boy. My neck pouch just starts to expand. Is there a lady in the room?
Just Lily.
Just
Lady fingers.
The
You sure? Did you look?
It doesn't have to.
it stinks in here, and you put two in your nose. Oh, that didn't help.